Imagine beginning with a dream, a little pizza shop, and just $20,000. At first, it was just him, rolling dough, taking orders, and working long hours to keep the lights on. And he built a $7 million empire from this single store, serving slices and smiles all over the city. But he went from living the millionaire life to filing for bankruptcy in just 18 months. How does something so big fall apart so quickly? And more importantly, what can we learn from Marco's mistakes? This is Marco. He is not a Wall Street tycoon or some Silicon Valley genius, but an ordinary guy from New Jersey with a passion to make the perfect pizza and a constant drive to succeed. Back in 2014, Marco was working long shifts at a gas station, saving every paycheck, every tip, and every extra dollar he could find. All went into one fund, opening his own pizza shop. Finally, he managed to save $20,000 and he opened a small pizza shop with that money. At his shop, Marco was working 16-hour days, perfecting his recipes and building rapport with each and every customer that entered the store. He wasn't just selling pizza, he was building connections. And you know what? It paid off well. Word spread fast, people started lining up out the door, and all the hype you'd see on Instagram. Before he knew it, the tiny shop became a local hotspot. By 2017, Marco had 12 locations scattered across New Jersey and Pennsylvania. He expanded again and again. Food costs, labor costs, rent, insurance, marketing, the numbers were staggering, but so was the revenue. The reviews were pouring in, 5 stars all over Yelp. The local news even gave him the nickname, the Pizza King of New Jersey. In just 3 years, Marco went from running a one-man show to overseeing a 12-location franchise with 90 employees and a jaw-dropping $7 million in annual revenue. Big success comes with even bigger challenges. And in Marco's case, what could really go wrong? Although Marco's business was booming, trouble was quietly brewing behind the scenes. While the oven stayed hot, the books started to freeze. This is where Marco made the first fatal mistake that kills more businesses than any competitor ever could. He stopped watching the money. Success had become his biggest blind spot. Marco was so focused on growing his pizza empire that he borrowed hundreds of thousands of dollars in high-interest loans to fund his rapid expansion. When you're pulling in $7 million annually, a $150,000 loan doesn't feel scary. Neither does $300,000 or $500,000. The banks were happy to lend because everything looked perfect on paper. Sales were skyrocketing and his franchise was thriving. But what they didn't see, and what Marco wasn't tracking, was that his profit margins were disappearing more quickly than his lunchtime pizza. The second mistake was even worse. Marco handed over the responsibility to a cousin with zero experience in accounting or business management. Daily cash flow tracking? Gone. Profit margin analysis? Non-existent. Marco's blind trust in him turned out to be a mistake he couldn't afford. That's when things really started to catch up with him. The first blow came in the form of a tax audit. A minor discrepancy turned into a major issue, and the IRS came knocking. Then disaster struck. A viral video surfaced showing unsanitary conditions in one of Marco's kitchens. Within hours, it had 500,000 views. The comments were brutal. "Gross! Never eating here again." As if that wasn't enough, 3 of his most profitable stores were suddenly hit with a crippling 40% rent increase. Marco couldn't keep up with the mounting expenses. Loans were due, sales were falling, and the financial pressure was unbearable. The dream he had poured everything into fell apart almost overnight. Sure, he's not the first ambitious entrepreneur to fall into these financial traps, and sadly, he won't be the last. But there's a lot we can learn from what went wrong. Lesson 1. Profit isn't cash flow. Marco's restaurants were profitable on paper, but cash was leaking out faster than it came in. You can have million-dollar revenue, but if you're not managing your cash, you can still end up broke. Second, don't grow faster than your systems can handle. Trying to scale too quickly without a solid foundation is like building a house on sand. It will collapse sooner or later. Third, mixing family and finances can be a risky combination. Loyalty is great, but experience and expertise are more important when it comes to business. And finally, the moment Marco stopped meticulously tracking his daily cash flow and overall finances, he lost control. What isn't measured can't be managed. Marco's biggest mistake wasn't expanding too fast. It was building fast without building smart. In 18 months, poor financial management destroyed what took 3 years to create. So let me ask you, what would you have done differently if you were in Marco's shoes? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Did you know why 82% of small businesses fail? Not competition, not market conditions, not bad luck, poor money management. It's one of the most common reasons great ideas fail, but you don't have to be part of that statistic. You can use the valuable lessons that Marco's fall taught you to safeguard your own endeavors. Success isn't just about passion or hard work. It's about making wise financial decisions. That's where fiscal focus comes in. We're here to give you the money strategies they never taught us in school. So, if you're ready to grow smarter, not just faster, hit that subscribe button and join us on this journey.